Hey guys, this is Miss Huss today. This week we're going to compare fractions with the same denominator. Can you think right now in your head what denominator means? If you're thinking about a fraction and the bottom number, like 1/6, the denominator is right here, okay? If we look at this fraction, we're going to do a little bit of a review. If we look at this fraction right here, I want you to write down what the denominator of the fraction is. Well, actually write down the whole fraction. If you wrote down 1/6, you are correct. Remember, the denominator is 6. One part is shaded. That's called the numerator. What about this fraction? Go ahead and write down the fraction that you think this is. All right, this fraction is 4/6. There's a total of 4 shaded out of 6 in all. 4 is the numerator. 6 is the number of pieces in all, which is the denominator. So we're going to look at the same denominator. So when we're comparing fractions, we're going to see the same denominator on each of the fractions we are comparing. All right, so let's take a step back before we go a step forward. What have we done? Well, we've worked on what a fraction looks like. In written form, we've talked about 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, and 4/4. We've shown a picture of this. And we've also done a number line of this. Now, if you remember when we were back in the classroom, we made our own fraction strips and we drew a number line with our fraction strips. So this should look pretty familiar. Remind me, what is 4/4? Oh yeah, it's 1 whole, okay? And since we've been learning online, we've worked on equivalent fractions. Remember, equivalent fractions are equal fractions. We've drawn a picture of it. Maybe I wanted to show 1/2. And we've also done a number line of it. From this picture, can you tell me what's equivalent to 2/4? That's right, 2/4 is equal to 1/2. Let's keep on going. So today we're comparing. You should have learned these symbols in 2nd grade or in 1st, but I'm just going to help you remember. So when two numbers are the same, they're equal to, okay? And you show this symbol right here. You say equal to. 5 equals 5. You think of one in your head. I think 3 equals 3, okay? You could do many of them. The next one is greater than. This is the symbol right here. When you are looking at it in a number, that's how it will look, and you would say it 5 is greater than 4. Can you think of a number, two numbers that would follow this rule? I could see 6 is greater than 1, okay? You could even get bigger. 57 is greater than, what number would be greater or less than 57? Let's do 21, okay? So those are 2 examples. I'm sure you can come up with more. Go ahead and pause this video and tell somebody in your household what is greater than, a greater than problem. Okay? The next one is less than. That's what the symbol would look like. And the way we would say it is 5 is less than 6. We could also say 4 is less than 5. Do you see how I just changed the order of this from 5 is greater than 4 to 4 is less than 5? Okay, we could do a big number of 46 is less than 192. You could probably come up with others. What I want you to do is I want you to pause this video right now. Tell somebody in your household a number that is less than another number. Go ahead. All right, guys. Now that you have a little bit more of an understanding, let's move to fractions comparing. So Makai and Sela are reading the same book. Makai has read 1/4 of the book. It's moved it around, can you tell? And Sela has read 2/4 of the book. Who has read more? Okay, so we need to start thinking about it. How can I compare fractions that have the same denominator? Go ahead, write those fractions down and underline which part is the denominator. If you said 4ths, you are correct. So remember, the denominator tells how many equal pieces the whole is divided into. So to compare these fractions, first look at the denominator. We see that they're the same. So let's go on to the next step. When the denominators are the same, the pieces are the same size. So I can compare the number of pieces. Look at the numerator. Which one's bigger, guys? 1 or 2? I would agree with you if you said 2. Okay? So we know that 1 is less than 2. So 1/4 is less than 2/4. And I wrote my symbol out here. Now, we haven't been doing circles that much, so I'm also going to draw a rectangle. Do you see how my rectangle is practically the same size? I'm going to put the lines in the same spots. And then I'm going to shade in 1/4, and I'm going to shade in 2/4 on my next one. So there's 1/4, and there's 2/4. So from this picture even, I see that 2/4 is bigger than 1/4. So 1/4 is less than 2/4. All right, let's try another one. When comparing fractions, look first at the denominators. I want you to look at the denominators, write them down, and underline them. The denominators are the same, so I can look at the numerators now. Okay, I see that 3 is greater than 2. So 3/6 is greater than 2/6. Now, Miss Haas always expects you to show your thinking. It doesn't help when you just put an answer down and there's no reasoning behind it. So, I, right now, am drawing a picture to show that 3/6 is greater than 2/6. So here's my 3/6 and here's my 2/6. Which one has more shaded? 3/6 does. So 3/6 is greater than 2/6. And I'm going to draw my symbol down there. All right? All right, so now we have the opportunity to compare these fractions. We always look at the denominator first. We see that the denominators are the same. So I can compare the numerators. I see 1 and 2. Well, which one's bigger? Bigger. Well, 2 is bigger than 1, so I know 1/3 is less than 2/3. But guys, you know what I'm going to expect is for you to draw a picture. So I'm going to draw a picture right up here. My boxes are the same size. I hope yours is too on your paper, showing 1/3 and 2/3. When I look at this, I'm going to shade in 1/3, and then I'm going to shade in 2/3. When I look at this to see if I'm right, 2/3 is bigger, so 1/3 is less than 2/3. Make sure you use that terminology in each time, okay? All right, this is your time to shine. I want you to see if the denominators are the same. I want you then to compare the numerators and draw a picture. All right, pause the video and do that task now. When you come back, we're going to do it together. All right, well, I see the denominators both have 8 in it, so that's a good spot. I see that 3 is bigger than 1, right? So I know 1/8 is less than 3/8. If I draw a picture, which I am doing, I can shade in 1/8 here, and I can shade in 3/8 here, and I see 3/8 is a lot bigger than 1/8. All right, let's keep on going. So we also know that a number line can also help us when comparing fractions. As you go to the left on the number line, the numbers get smaller. As you go to the right, we go this way, the numbers get larger. So let's think in this instance, what fractions of the cupcakes have chocolate icing? I see there's 1, 2, 3, 4 total. And then I see 1, 2, 3 that have chocolate icing. Which fraction of the cupcakes do not have chocolate icing? Well, there is yet again 4 total, and 1 of them does not have chocolate. So I'm going to compare 3/4 to 1/4. So here's my number line here. Also want you to think about the picture. And we see 1/4 right here and 3/4 right here. Think in your head, would you rather have 3/4 or 1/4? Now, when I think about this, any type of food, don't just think about cupcakes, especially if you don't like cupcakes. I would rather have 3/4 of a type of food than 1/4. So 3/4 is a lot larger than 1/4. So 3/4 is greater than 1/4. Do you see how the denominators are the same again? All right, let's look in this example. What fraction of the monsters have no arms? Let's look at the denominator first. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I know both of them are 6 without even reading. So we're going to look at how many have no arms. Well, 1, 2, I only see 2. So 2, 6. The next one is asking what fraction of the monsters have 2 eyes. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. I see 4. So 4, 6. So write a comparison statement with your two fractions. We have 2 6 and 4 6. We're going to create a number line. I'm going to write it down here. And my number line is going to start at what? 0. And it goes to 1. And think about it. When we were doing number lines, how many lines would we need for 6? We would only need 5. Okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This starts at 1, 6, 2, 6, 3, 6, 4, 6, 5, 6, and this is at 6, 6. Okay? Let's find 2, 6 on the number line. Well, I see 2, 6 is right here, and I see 4, 6 is right here. Right now, when you think in your head, which one is larger? Well, I would say 4, 6 is a lot larger than 2, 6, wouldn't you? All right, so therefore we know 2, 6 is less than 4, 6, okay? Do you see how we use the number line to help us with this? Your turn to try this. I want you to do this. I want you to draw your number line and mark both 3 8s and 4 8s. All right, as we come back together, I see that 3 8s is on the number line right here. I can put a dot or I can circle, whichever's best for you. And then I find 4 8s right here, okay? So thinking of a number line, it will help us compare fractions. Which one's bigger? Well, 4 8s is closer to 1. So 4 8s is bigger than 3 8s. So is it going to be less than, greater than, or equal to? Well, I know for a fact that these aren't equal because they're not on the same spot on the number line. So I know it's not that. Let's see. Sometimes saying it out loud helps you. 3 8s is less than 4 8s. That sounds right because 3 is less than 4. Let's just check to make sure the other one doesn't make sense. 3 8s is greater than 4 8s. Well, that can't be right because I know that 3 is not greater than 4 because of my number line. So I am going to use this symbol right here. All right, your turn. Try it out. All right, so coming back together, you should see I'm starting to draw my number line just like you should. I hope you are showing your number line so that you can follow along with me. If you haven't yet, pause the video and do that now. Okay, so we have 4 8s and we have 1 8. Well, let's see. We see that the denominators are the same. So when we find 1 8 on the number line, it's right here. When we find 4 8s on the number line, it's right here. Let's think in our head, which one is bigger, 1 8 or 4 8s? Well, I know 4 8s is bigger than 1 8 because it's close. It's closer to 1 than 1 8. Think about which one would you want more of. I would want more of 4 8s than 1 8. So let's look at the symbols. Well, I know for a fact they're not equal, so I'm going to cross that out. We're going to say both of these and see which one makes sense. Less than or greater than. 4 8s is less than 1 8. No, that's not true. We know 4 8s is bigger. So 4/8 is greater than 1/8. That makes so much more sense. All right, so some things to remember before we stop. If the denominators are the same, compare them by looking at the numerators. When comparing fractions, you first look at the denominators. The reason for that is, I'm going to show you next week. Thinking of a number line can help with comparing fractions with the same denominator. Also drawing a picture. All right, I hope you're doing well. Please let me know if you have any questions. Bye-bye.